Magic is the only place where color change is not known as potentially racially motivated. We could change colors of cards all day and nobody bats an eye. Some people actually might find it cool and interesting, such as with this particular iteration of a muck change. Now, a muck is typically done in a gambling scene where a person is trying to exchange their hand for a better one. However, I thought that this actually looks pretty decent as a color change. So today what I thought I'd do is that I'd show you how to do this. Prepare your virginity. So for this, we're going to be using a blank card and the missing piece stack of playing cards, which is now live on Kickstarter. You might want to check out the campaign. I've been pretty diligently working on these cards for the past couple years, and it'd be great if you guys check them out. Now, there are a couple different ways of doing this color change. First is as a switch. So in this case, in the action of turning the card, we've done the color change there. So let's go over this technique and then talk about variations later. So first things first is you're going to place a card in what's known as a lateral palm position. This is something I cover extensively on my PigCake Magic Academy, so you might want to check that out as well. Over 1,300 videos going over various aspects of sleight of hand, and one of them is this lateral palm. Now notice the position of my middle finger is there bracing the card on the upper left corner. I'm pushing the right edge of the card against my palm. Now I could choose to have an upward bend or a downward bend on the card. However, what's good is that it's covered and your fingers seem relatively open. However, you don't want to bend the card too much because they could peek it right there through the middle finger. Or if you do the opposite, they could see it right there above. So you do want to watch your angles with this, very similar to a tenkai palm position. What's good about this is that you could actually convert it from a tenkai palm to a lateral palm very easily. All I'm doing is, if the card is in tenkai palm, I'm just bringing in my middle finger, bracing it against that upper left corner, and now I'm in the position for the color change. Now, it is advantageous for you to have a downward bend for this particular change, because what's going to happen in a moment is that I'm going to exchange this one for this one. So let me give you the exposed angle here. This is what's taking place with this color change, just this right here. So I'm coming in with the card in my right hand. I'm holding this card between my thumb and the forefinger of the left hand. Now, much like my uncle does to me at night, I'm going to come under. And what's going to happen here is I'm going to place this card in what is a tenkai palm position. So right now I'm going to come in and I'm going to brace the left side of the card with my thumb of the right hand. Now, at the same time, my middle finger is going to extend from my left hand and pinch this card. Now here, I'm going to rotate this card into view at the same time putting it up on my left fingertips. So the card gets placed in this tenkai position. I pinch it with my middle finger here underneath, and I'm going to rotate this card into view as I place it in my left hand openly. Now at the same time, this card is in tenkai. I could very easily transfer it to a lateral palm position and repeat it again. So from this side, all that's happening one more time is I'm just exchanging both cards as I spin it. So that spin is what's causing the color change. However, the color change is taking place here, and the card is exchanged all the way back here. Now, as I mentioned earlier, this move is based on a muck technique, which is something I've seen done in the gambling cheating world, where an operator or a card cheat would come in with a card like this and switch it as they're peeking at it in the table. But I thought that this makes as a great color change. Now, there is an alternative where the cards are placed together. So in this case, both cards are being pinched together here on the lower end of the card. I'm going to come in and place the top card in that lateral palm position as I keep pressure with my thumb there. So now when I spin that card, this card is going to come into view at the same time that this card is being placed in that lateral palm position. Now this is advantageous because you could show your hands to be relatively empty apart from the card and then get into the color change that way. Now, I initially also thought this up as an in the hands muck, so it would do as a switch like this. But that's not really as visual as with the spin. Some people might like that particular handling. It's the exact same thing. All I'm doing is coming in, pinching that card, and then showing it like this. So from this angle, it just looks like I'm taking the card and showing it. Really, I've switched it for the blank one. I told you the virginity in this one was going to be aggressive, my friends. It's non-stop. But it's definitely a fun little move to practice, even if you don't want to use it as an actual color change for whatever it is you choose to use it for. It's still fun. You get to practice this transfer action of lateral to tenkai palm, which is useful for other moves. And at that, you get a very nice and visual color change. Of course, I recommend, again, using my missing piece stack of playing cards that you could find on Kickstarter. You could use this move to turn them from original pink onto the brand new Vaporwave stretch goal. If we reach a certain level of funding, I will unlock these bad boys for you to be able to pick them up as well. So go ahead and consider checking out the campaign. But some advice at the end of the video. I've been adding salt to my water, sea salt. I also add 0-calorie flavoring packets and makes water more palatable, even though you shouldn't complain. Water is the most refreshing drink in the planet. But with a nice little bit of salt for hydration and electrolytes and that flavor packet, it really makes you want to consume as many of these as you can, which is great and key to life. Nothing like getting interrupted by various text messages that you're trying to shoot a video. That's the other bit of advice. Put your phone on no volume mode if you decide to do this for a living.
I see you again, when 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 I see you again.